Meet Jonathan Bird, one of the world's top underwater nature cinematographers. Traveling the world on assignment for all the major networks, he is an Emmy Award-winning authority on the underwater world. In freshwater or salt, reefs, wrecks, or caves, Jonathan documents the world beneath the waves. Welcome to the Blue World.
I've always wanted to know what it's like to work in a big aquarium, so I came to the New England Aquarium in Boston to learn what it takes to be an aquarist. How hard can it be?
Founded in 1969, the New England Aquarium is one of the most famous public aquaria in the United States and an icon of Boston. Over 1 million people visit the New England Aquarium every year to see amazing exhibits and the world-famous giant ocean tank, a 200,000-gallon tropical coral reef exhibit. I arrived nice and early to meet Sherry Floyd, the senior aquarist.
Hi, Sherry.
Hey, Jonathan, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
This is my coworker, Elisha.
Hi, nice to meet you.
She's going to be spending a good portion of the day with you today.
Oh, great.
Whip you into shape.
Lucky you.
Okay, we're going to be feeding sharks in the giant ocean tank today, but before we do that, you're going to have to earn your dive in the giant ocean tank.
Uh-oh.
We're going to start by scrubbing the floor. So come with me.
I can hardly wait. Shh, people work here.
Dozens of aquarists work here, and I'm going to find out what it takes to keep the exhibits running by becoming an aquarist in training. I must look smart because they start me right away on an important job.
Being an aquarist is hard work.
Soon, Sherry recognizes my natural talents and moves me up to something with much more responsibility.
Okay, ready?
I'm an aquarist in training, baby, right here.
But cleaning the drain is definitely paying my dues.
You know, when I thought I was going to be an aquarist today, I figured I'd be feeding the fish and hanging out, scientists, learning all kinds of biology, but I'm getting goo out of a drain.
At last, I've graduated to something important. Food preparation. All the fish need something special to eat, and all of that food has to be prepared in advance.
Needs cabin. Oh yeah, smells good, huh?
Fishy.
We keep it in
Squid are one of the main items on the menu, and they have to be prepared by removing the beaks and then cutting them into appropriately sized pieces.
All right, buddy, you're getting debeaked.
flip the tentacles open,
Okay, tentacle man.
pop it like a pimple.
Like,
It's from the bottom.
this?
Yep. And then pull it out with your fingers.
oh, dude.
Ugh.
Ugh.
You can give it to me.
Oh, thanks. Oh, look, some squid goo.
Oh, yeah, lots of
That's
goo
goo.
comes
Oh, delicious. This would be a bad time to cut yourself. Okay, so I have some little squid rings.
Yep, so then we'll put
We deep fry them?
No.
Oh, good gracious.
So
Look at the
this
size
is a
of that
large
thing.
squid.
I'll say.
This is
Oh.
what the sharks eat.
Oh, yummy.
So the beak is much larger here.
Food preparation takes a lot of time, and it has to be done 4 times a
Yes.
day.
Okay.
What else can I show you guys?
Ew.
Oh, it's not. So
Well,
yeah.
so far, there's nothing here that I really want to eat,
Oh, come on.
except for this squid.
You'd eat a squid. You'd eat a squid.
No, I wouldn't.
Here, you can hold that.
Next, I learn to burp the air out of the swim bladder of a smelt so it will sink.
You want to burp one?
Sure, I'll burp one.
They're very slimy.
Oh, a slimy smell.
Push like up the stomach.
this.
Push from down
I'm going
up.
to aim them at you when I do
No,
this?
no.
Oh.
Then I remove the roe from capelin. The eggs are food for smaller animals in the exhibits, and the fish themselves are fed to larger animals.
Fish eggs.
Yeah.
And
Do they smell fresh?
they smell very fishy.
It's about as fresh as you get.
Finally, it's out to the GOT, the giant ocean tank, to start feeding some of the fish. I'm surprised to learn that the fish are hand-fed.
It's hard to believe that with this big tank, we have to actually sit here and feed specific fish. You can't just throw the food in. You have to actually pick and choose which fish you're feeding. That seems like a lot of work to me. Here you go. Oh yeah, good job.
Finally, Sherry gives me a briefing on what to expect in the GOT, and I start suiting up for my dive. Outside, it's the middle of winter in Boston, with temperatures below freezing, but I'm getting ready to do a tropical dive. I check my camera, and it's off to the dive site.
And off I go.
Down the hallway and through the double doors. I'm really excited about my dive, but I can't help worrying about what tasks lay ahead of me in my Aquarist training program.
All right, it's the moment of truth. It's February in Boston, and I'm going diving.
We have two loggerheads
With no hood. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go.
Jonathan Bird.
I hit the warm water with a splash while hundreds of people watch and head down below the surface to swim with the fish in this enormous fish tank. Except for all the people looking in through the glass, it would be easy to believe that this was a real Caribbean reef. There are so many fish and the water is so clear, I feel just like I'm diving at some beautiful Caribbean island. Of all the animals in the tank, of course, the sand tiger sharks are my favorite. The aquarists keep them well fed, so they're not aggressive at all, but they are beautiful to watch. Unfortunately, I have to work. A diver has to scrub these windows every day to keep the algae from growing on them. I tried to tell them I don't do windows, but an aquarist's job is never finished. Meanwhile, Sherry is checking the health of the fish. She's down on the bottom examining a nurse shark that has a small cut. When I finally finish the windows, Sherry demonstrates how she feeds the sand tiger sharks. They aren't always hungry since they're fed regularly, but the aquarists use a pole to feed them because when they do decide to eat, you wouldn't want your fingers anywhere near those teeth. I hang back and film the action for a while, but soon Sherry decides that I'm ready to try feeding the fish. This is exciting. I finally get to do the fun stuff. She hands me some squid, and I look for a taker. The pressure is on because everyone's watching. A cow-nosed ray comes up and tries to take the squid from me, but I haven't quite gotten the hang of it. The ray gives up and moves on. So I try feeding the nurse shark using the pole, just like Sherry showed me. But talk about getting the cold shoulder. At last, Sherry takes pity on my pathetic attempts and gives me some capelin. I'm told I can't go wrong with this irresistible, delicious fish. My first taker is a cow-nosed ray, and I can't resist giving her a little belly rub as she swims over. I must be doing something right because she takes a lap around the tank and comes back for more. Next, Myrtle the turtle comes over. Turtles are supposed to eat plants and jellyfish, But Myrtle isn't picky. As you can see from her figure, she likes food. And when Myrtle wants food, you just give it to her. Forget the sharks, Myrtle runs this tank. The cow-nosed ray is back for thirds. Aren't they cute? Next, I try my luck with a large pompano. With all the fish fed, my job in the GOT is finished, and I head for the surface. It's been a long but thrilling tropical reef dive right in the heart of Boston. I head back to the swim step. Reluctantly, I must get out of the water.
That was great. 3 sharks, and none of them would eat anything from me. They don't like me.
Back in the dive locker room, I can enjoy a nice clean shower, and I know that the drain won't get plugged up. So what did I learn? Being an aquarist is hard work. It's not all fun and games. Much of the job is devoted to prepping food and cleaning exhibits. But if you love the creatures of the ocean, few things can beat the fun of working with animals like this. And if you're lucky enough to spend a few hours a day diving in the giant ocean tank, well, this just might be the best job in the world. The ocean is full of amazing fish, like this school of surgeonfish feeding on algae on the reef. Colorful anemone fish, or this school of sweepers hiding in the coral for protection. One of the most beautiful but rarely seen fish is the mandarin fish, found on coral reefs of the Pacific.
Mandarin fish are extremely shy and only come out of the reef at dusk to mate. I'm here in Micronesia on an island called Yap, one of the best places in the world to find mandarin fish. And this evening I'm going on a dive to see if I can find a few.
I enter the water right at sunset. As the light levels get lower on the reef, the daytime fish feed before they must hide for the night. A lot of changes take place on the reef at dusk. Just before the sun sets, I have my best chance of finding a mandarin fish. In the dim light, I search the reef carefully. I can't use a flashlight because it would scare the tiny fish. Mandarin fish are very shy. They rarely leave the protection offered by the nooks and crannies in the reef. There, a small amount of movement catches my eye. A mandarin fish. If I didn't know where and when to look, I would never find it. As the sun sinks lower in the sky, the light levels drop, and something magical happens. The mandarin fish peeks out to see if the coast is clear. These reclusive fish only venture from the safety of their coral home to mate, and they only do it in a narrow window of time at dusk. A male wanders from female to female, courting each one. His goal is to spawn as many times as he can with as many females as possible. He's not particularly choosy about a partner. The females size him up. They're a little more selective about a mate than he is. He's not worried. If one female gets cold fins, another one will jump in at the last minute. Then the male and the female pair up and begin to make practice runs, rising up off the reef, cheek to cheek. At last the pair spawns for real. Rising well above the reef to keep the eggs from being eaten by the coral, the male and the female release their spawn at the same time. the eggs are fertilized in the water column. Over and over, the male spawns as many times as he can, perhaps as many as 10 times in half an hour. The fertilized eggs then drift off into open water to develop into tiny baby mandarin fish. Most will not survive to adulthood. Once darkness comes, the spawning ends. The mandarin fish seek protection in the reef, safe for another day.
Well, it's after sunset and the mandarin fish have finished mating for the night and gone back into the reef. They won't come back out of the reef till tomorrow night. So for now, it's time for me to go to bed.
Don't go away. Jonathan is about to swim with the world's biggest fish, a whale shark.
I've journeyed to the warm and shallow waters of tiny Holbox Island in the Gulf of Mexico to find and film the world's largest fish.
Holbox is barely more than a sandy speck on the map at the northern end of the Yucatan. It's not your typical tourist destination. Until recently, this sleepy island wasn't much more than a fishing village. There are no paved roads, and everyone gets around in golf carts or other non-conventional transportation. The highway here is a stretch of beach where you can hit maybe 20 miles an hour if you have a fast card. Downtown, this island has the charm of a place not yet discovered by throngs of tourists. But everywhere there are signs. Something special has been discovered here. Offshore in the cool waters of the Gulf of Mexico, a giant lurks. I get up early to meet the boats to take me and a few other intrepid snorkelers on the adventure of a lifetime.
Right, let's go find some whale sharks.
Instead of catching fish, these former fishermen are now making their living taking tourists to swim with a fish, a really big fish. Using a GPS receiver to help him navigate, the captain takes us about an hour offshore. Our guide, Andreas, watches the water with a carefully trained eye on the horizon. Soon we pass a pod of dolphins. They circle the boat a few times to check us out, then vanish. Then we come across a group of eagle rays frolicking at the calm surface. I've never seen eagle rays doing this before. I'm not even sure what they're up to. But after a few minutes, we have to move on. We put the boat back in gear and keep looking. A ripple up ahead catches Andreas's keen eye. As we approach, we find a giant manta ray feeding right at the surface, mouth wide open. Mantas can reach 20 feet across, but this is just a small one, only about the size of a car. Finally, Andreas spots what we're looking for, the huge head of a whale shark sticking up out of the water. As we pull the boat up alongside the shark, I can see its massive mouth open and funneling water in like a gigantic storm drain. The shark is feeding. But what could it be eating? It's more than 30 feet long. What could feed such an enormous animal? To find out, I don my snorkel gear and hop over the side. The whale shark passes right in front of me. The water is not very clear, and this is where I get my first clue what is going on here. The sharks have come to this section of the ocean because it's filled with plankton. Whale sharks might be the biggest fish in the sea, but they eat only plankton and small fish. The word plankton comes from a Greek word meaning drifter, so plankton are drifting organisms like these tiny copepods. The water is filled with copepods, jellyfish, and other drifting animals. They might be small, but these planktonic animals are all food for the mighty whale shark. Early in the morning, when the water is calm, the plankton forms a thick layer near the surface.
He's just surface feeding. What the whale sharks do here is they swim across the surface of the water with their mouths open wide, and all that plankton that's sitting right at the surface gets funneled right into their mouths.
The enormous mouth swallows up huge quantities of water. The water comes back out through the shark's gills, but comb-like structures in the gills capture the plankton like an enormous spaghetti strainer. So the whale shark swimming through the water is like a big pool skimmer filtering the plankton for breakfast. Each shark eats hundreds of pounds of food every hour. It turns out that eating plankton is very efficient for a large animal. Conditions here around Holbox Island are perfect for plankton in the summer. The plankton makes the water really murky, but all that food attracts huge schools of fish. It's a bounty that feeds many kinds of animals. Manta rays feed on the plankton. But the whale shark is by far the most impressive animal that comes here. Reaching 50 feet long, whale sharks grow as large as a school bus. But they're completely harmless. All they eat are plankton and tiny fish.
That is incredible. They are so huge. And there's so much plankton in the water that we can only see maybe 20 feet underwater. So they're bigger than the visibility. You can't even see the tail from the head.
I can't believe how many sharks are feeding around the boat. There's so much plankton here that it attracts whale sharks for hundreds of miles around. Some of the sharks have escorts, schools of fish that swarm around them for protection. They too eat the plankton, splashing at the surface as they feed alongside the shark. But when I swim over to investigate, they hide under the shark as if it were a huge swimming reef. Freediving and keeping up with these sharks is hard work.
They don't look like they're moving that fast. I mean, their tail is just, gently swishing back and forth, but they are so big. That tail is so huge that they're actually moving faster than we can keep up with them. You swim as hard as you can for about 30 seconds and then you're pooped and you give up and off they go.
Later, as the sun gets higher in the sky and the air gets warmer, the wind picks up and waves start to form. The plankton layer dissipates, and the sharks get harder and harder to find. They're diving deeper, out of sight. Once they dive below, we have no way to find them, so we head back to shore. My trip to Holbox has been a tremendous success and a lot of fun. The economy of this tiny island has been transformed by this big, harmless, polka-dotted shark. here in Holbox, people love whale sharks, and they're protected by law. And that's the best part of this story.